What's up guys, it's Vinsanity back again with another Apex Legends video today. With the advent of Season 6, we've seen some of the biggest changes we've ever seen to the weapon meta in Apex. The RNA-9, previously the most popular gun in the game, has been vaulted and is now a care package weapon, and the Devo and the Volt are ground loot. The light ammo meta is really a thing of the past, and heavy and especially energy ammo seem like they're going to dominate this season. The time to kill has also been significantly lowered with the shield reduction, and several guns like the Hemlock have gotten huge buffs and feel like absolute lasers currently. With all these massive changes, I thought it'd be interesting to consider the current weapon hierarchy as I see it. Without further delay, let's get right into ranking the top 10 best weapons in Apex Legends for Season 6. So at the number 10 spot, to kick things off, we have the Havoc. The Havoc was an absolute laser at the start of Season 5, having little to no recoil and an incredibly high damage per second. The Havoc was just about the best gun you could land on, because you really didn't have to kit it up at all with many attachments for it to be absolutely dominant. However, after a reduction in the mag size, as well as increased vertical recoil, I think the Havoc is actually kind of in the opposite position it previously held. Now it really needs to be equipped with a good stock, mag, and a turbocharger, so if you can kind of deck it out with these attachments, I think the potential for the Havoc is really high, but kind of a naked, bare-bones Havoc is no longer very good. Next in line, at the number 9 spot, we have the G7 Scout. The Scout, even after undergoing several nerfs over the previous seasons, is still one of the most reliable and accurate ARs in the game. Each bullet packs a punch and does a lot of damage, and if you can equip it with a Ranger, you can absolutely laser opponents from mid to long range if you get the rhythm of the shooting down. One thing keeping the Scout from being a little bit higher on this list for me is the poor iron sight, but honestly this is just a solid gun all around. Next up, at number 8, we have the Flatline. The high DPS on the Flatline makes it one of the best AR choices in the game, and it can really hang with any other gun. The Flatline really thrives from close range in my opinion, when used sort of as an SMG. The hipfire on this gun is second to none, as it's fairly accurate, and if you get right in someone's face you can drop opponents in just a second if you hit your shots. I do think the Flatline struggles at mid, and especially long range, as the high recoil makes it a bit of a challenge to hit your shots, and there are simply better options to choose from. That said, the Flatline really is a top choice if you can play to its strengths and recognize its weaknesses.
They're all down.
At number 7, we have the Mastiff. For closer range gunfights, the Mastiff is really the best option. If you get right in someone's face and aim down the sights, the Mastiff packs a huge punch and you can reliably hit someone for 100 damage or thereabouts.
There you go.
In close quarters, such as buildings, the Mastiff also lets you play in a way where you can peek quickly, take a shot, and then quickly retreat back behind cover, making it extremely difficult for opponents that are using automatic guns to hit you. That said, the Mastiff is extremely limited in what it can do, in that it's not versatile at all and has no utility from mid to long range. So it can really limit the fights you can take, and it's not always possible to take fights from very close range, so you need to keep that in mind. Next up, at number 6, we have the R301. A bare bones R301 off the drop is not really the most attractive weapon choice, but really equip any barrel stabilizer or mag, and the R301 becomes an absolute laser. I feel like the R301 is just one of those most reliable shots in the game, and it's solid across all metrics, having good damage and low recoil. It's really the most consistent choice for shredding people at mid to long range, and one of the best guns in the game for players of all levels. At number 5, we have the Wingman. The Wingman is really a tough beast to characterize, because depending on the player using it, the gun can be one of the best guns in the game, or not even a top 10 weapon. There's really just a huge skill gap on this gun, more than any other weapon in the game in my opinion, so in the hands of a sweaty TTV Wraith, it might be the best, or one of the best guns in the game, but for an average, or beginner player, I wouldn't even put it among the top 10 to 15 guns. At the number 4 spot, we have the new Season 6 gun edition, the Volt. I think the Volt has been a pretty solid replacement for the RNA-9 so far, and I personally really like the way the gun feels. I do think that a bare bones Volt without a mag on it isn't the best weapon in the game, but with a decent mag and stabe, this thing can absolutely destroy and one-clip opponents pretty easily. I also think the Volt is a pretty versatile gun. You can laser opponents from barrel stuff range or throw a bruiser on it and be a menace and shred opponents at mid to long range. Next up, at the number 3 spot, we have the Hemlock. In my opinion, the Hemi was already a top weapon last season, but Respawn decided kinda out of nowhere to toss the Hemlock a huge buff in Season 6. The Hemi now has reduced vertical recoil, a more restricted bullet pattern, and a reduced time between bursts so it shoots even faster. The thing is really an absolute laser now. There's still a bit of a debate going on about whether the single fire or burst mode is better, and I really think it just depends on the range. At long range, the single fire option is great for poking enemies, but really get to any sort of close or medium range, and the burst is definitely the better option. Just 2 spots left. At the number 2 spot, we have the Prowler. The Prowler's been overshadowed a bit by the Volt at the start of Season 6, just because the Volt's all new and shiny, but don't get it twisted, it's still absolutely the best SMG in the game. Its high DPS combined with a huge mag and little recoil make the Prowler an absolute laser in the full auto mode, but also in close range, the burst mode, the Prowler is really good. I think if you can get in someone's face, you can kill them with just 3 bursts of the Prowler, taking less than a second. All around, this gun is an absolute laser, it's super consistent, and if you can get your hands on it, I definitely think it's the best SMG in the game. Finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the Devotion. This gun is nothing short of god tier this meta. With a turbocharger and a decent mag equipped, you can absolutely shred opponents and really an entire squad in an instant. Even with this recent soft nerf that it's gotten, I still think the gun is absolutely insane. It feels just as good as it was when it was a care package weapon. I anticipate this gun getting a few more nerfs as the season goes on, but for right now it's still kind of broken, so definitely exploit it while you can.
No.
So that's going to wrap it up for my ranking of the top 10 weapons in Apex Legends Season 6. Sorry that I couldn't pull off this clutch here in the gameplay. It was pretty close, it was a pretty sweaty lobby, and I was able to do pretty well. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
I don't know why they're celebrating.